In this week's discussion, we're discussing external barriers and internal barriers to coaching. The book that I am referencing is Gary R. Collins, PhD, Christian Coaching, Helping Others to Turn Potential into Reality. Helping others turn potential into reality. Now, some of the external barriers to coaching would be distracting life events. Distracting life events like death in the family, children getting sick, spouse getting sick, just one of your grandparents may pass. Things like that can be a distracting life event. And the way you can overcome that barrier is the person that's being coached. You let them go ahead and take care of that. You tell them, hey, look, you need to go ahead and make sure you get all your life events, things that's happening. Have time to go ahead and take care of all of those things and get them cleared up and out of the way so that they don't have any distractions that come up. Another one is too many demands. That's an external barrier to coaching. It can be in the way. Like this person has took on too many tasks. They have too many things going on in their life, too many tasks that they're trying to complete, and it's just interfering with coaching. It's just getting in the way. And they may have to learn how to plan better and have better time management, to manage all those tasks and all those demands that they have going on in their life, or simply just help them overcome it by showing them ways to take some of those things off their list that may not be as important as the others. You got difficult people, someone who is always complaining, someone who is always, just doing a lot of talking while you're trying to get work done. That can be an external barrier. Just a hard person to deal with, a hard person to work with. Sometimes we on jobs and you just have somebody that's just difficult to work with. No matter what, they give a lot of resistance. They make things difficult and hard to get through, all the time. Then another barrier would be criticism from others. That's like someone telling them that your work is not good enough. You're not good enough. You're not trying hard enough. And but they really, really trying hard, but they just can't accept the criticism. Some people don't do well with criticism, but the way I would help them overcome that, basically, I tell them just eat the meat, spit out the bones. Basically, take the good parts that you need from it and throw the rest of it away. You don't have to take everything that they're saying and use it and let it get you down. That would be another barrier. Criticism from others. Let's see, no clear boundaries. You don't have any kind of clear boundaries on what's going on in the workplace. Like, someone can be basically, they don't have a limit, a place where they're gonna stop. Like you say, well, I'm gonna do this much work and I'm gonna work up until this point and then I'm stopping. That's a clear boundary. But if you don't have that boundary and you just continue to go on and on and on, it's gonna be a barrier to coaching. You're not gonna be able to coach that person well because of that. And then you have, no evaluation from others, meaning like people not giving them, you're not getting good feedback. And sometimes you need that evaluation, somebody telling you some type of feedback, good or bad, indifferent on what you're doing, that helps that person overcome that obstacle of coaching. And it just make them be able to function well in a coaching environment. Some of the internal barriers of coaching, but first, an internal barrier of coaching is basically psychological or physical obstacles that prevent access to a place or facility or to personal factors that can affect behavior and communication. So some of them are internal barriers are habits. Like, habits could be like whenever somebody's given a task to do, before they go ahead and complete that task, the first thing they got to go do is have like a 20-minute smoke break. That would be a habit. And the way you overcome that is you have to shift that. And you tell them like, okay, look, we're going to shift things around. Instead of you taking a 20-minute smoke break before you do the task, how about you save that 20-minute smoke break to after the task is complete? And plus, that'll also give them motivation to complete the task because they want to get to that cigarette. Fear is another internal barrier. Fear is like, somebody have like negative self-talk or basically talking themselves out of something before they get started or just talking up fear. Like when I was in the military, jumping out of airplanes, sometimes people were fearful to do it. So they were already talk themselves up into a negative mindset before they even got to it. You know what I'm saying? And then they're afraid to do it. They have fear. And it's hard you got to coach them out of that mindset. You got to tell them the positive things and how to look at it from a positive perspective so that they can go ahead and complete this jump. So basically you would say something like, hey, the only way to get out of all of this gear that we have on is to exit out of that door. You want to take all this stuff off? You want to get out of this without things going wrong? Then you just exit that door. That's motivation. And that can help them overcome that fear. Then you got the negative mindset. There's also an internal barrier. And, you're hanging around people that's always talking negative, always talking, just have bad stuff to say all the time. Being in that type of environment, you also pick up those negative thoughts and mindsets. So you got to get around people with a positive thoughts and positive mindset to help shift you. That's be the way to overcome that situation. Get them into circles of people with positive mindsets. Then you have no commitment or ownership. That can cause an internal barrier to coaching. Basically, they don't feel like they have no say in the matter of what's taking place. So if somebody came up with a plan for them and just handed them the plan and told them to execute. Well, it's hard to do that plan for some people when none of that has your ideas in it, and you have ideas that you want to also input. So if you want to input ideas, you should be able to you show them that you allow them to have input into the situation. That way they feel they got more ownership and they'll be more ready to go out and complete it. And resistance to change would be a internal barrier. Because the saying is like, this is how we do it around here. Or don't come here with that because that's not how we do things. That's a resistance to change. And you convince them, you coach them into knowing that change is good. It's more than one way to skin a cat, as they say. It's more than one way to do things. You don't have to stick to the old method of doing things. You can add in additional ways, and then you can show them new ways to do it, and they can see the results, and then they won't be so resistant to change anymore after you do that. So those are all the things that I covered in external and internal barriers, and that's all that I have. Thank you.